Today on the channel, we unbox the Elite 98 Chase Edition Rick Boogz, and we rank the entire Elite 98 set from my least favorite to my favorite.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Elite 98 unboxing and review, plus set rankings. But first, before we get to those set rankings, we've got to unbox the Rick Boogz Elite 98 Chase Edition. But remember, for all your WWE, Mattel, and AEW Jazzwares wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. And of course, we're going to do this like we always do in these videos. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to see where it goes from there with old Rick Boogz Chase Edition. And then in the back half, we're going to rank the whole wave of Elite 98 from my least favorite to my favorite. So get your list in order. Without further ado, let's take a look at the old Chase Edition Rick Boogz. And there he is, old Rick Boogz, looking like Rick Boogz would look in Elite 98 if he was the Chase Edition, of course. Glamour shot there, first time in the line, Rick Boogz, WWE logo, Elite 98. Very cool, very similar but different from the regular release. Got the more regular release attire over here on the side. Look at that high pony off to the side with the headband. Just quite the look, quite the look. Fashionista right there. On the side, we got Certified Authentic, True FX, Rick Boogz, WWE Elite, off to the races. Then on the back, we've got the entire wave down below. Of course, we're going to talk about them later on in this video. We got the glamour shot, we got the blurb, we got the tail of the tape, we got the Elite logo. We're playing all the hits like a young Rick Boogz here on the back of the package. Let's see what it says about our old buddy Rick Boogz here. From Franklin, Wisconsin. Oh, getting cold this time of year. 6'1", 233 pounds. Finisher, the old Boogz Cruise. His name is Rick Boogz. And before he shreds in the ring, he shreds the guitar for his tag team partner, Shinsuke Nakamura. Well, that's as good as you're going to get from me without some warm-ups. But without further ado, let's get him out of the package here. Off to the races. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic prison time for Rick Boogz. Looking good, looking real good. A solid figure. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys did see the unboxing of the regular edition and just a next level figure. This one should be very similar. Should also be a next level figure. Just very cool. This is actually going to be one of the best figures of the year. I just have it in my feelings. Maybe it's the getting towards the end of the year and this one really sticks out, but what they did with this figure is just amazing. We're going to break it down like we always do here in a second, if I can get him out of the plastic prison. And there it is, the plastic prison. Always getting out of it eventually. Let's look at the hands first. Much like the regular edition, same hands between these two. He's got two fists. If he needs to throw down, he's ready to go. We got two fists on old Rick Boogz. Then we got the old horns like a young Ronnie James Dio. We got the horns here. He can be throwing up the horns. This is going to be interesting, too, between the regular edition and the Chase. How am I going to display them? How am I going to put them out there? What hands am I going to use? Will I have ponytail, no ponytail, one with a guitar, one without the guitar? Oh, man, so many questions. So many questions. Who knows? But there's the hands. Then we get down to old Rick Boogz in action here. And I'm going to take this guitar off him, and we'll do these separately, of course. Maybe, can I get this off him? Holy cow, he's on there tight. There it is. And we do get some protection for the guitar, which is really cool because this is a breakaway guitar. I didn't know that until the last one, of course. But this is much better than your traditional breakaway guitars. We've all had guitars over the years, be it the Honky Tonk Man. That's usually who it usually is. But we've seen them from Jax. We've seen them from Mattel. We've seen them with companies, and they always break apart real easy. See you later. And off to the side, see you later. They always break apart way too easy. They feel fragile and they just drop in your hand. It's so frustrating. This one, much better. It's not going to break apart unless you really want it to. It clips off there at the headstock. Looks really good. Really do like this. I would love to see them run back some Honky Tonk Man guitars with kind of a similar technology here that just don't disintegrate in your hand. So fabulous. Kind of flying V Jackson style guitar here. You got the black and the blue. Got the 6 strings, of course. A nice guitar strap here that has some movement to it. It's not fragile. It's not going to break on you. Just an absolute beast of a guitar right here. Very heavy metal inspired. And possibly possibly the greatest guitar ever made in a wrestling figure line. I would go that far with this guitar. I absolutely do love this. Now let's break down old Rick Boogz in his finest suspenders. Now this is a much different one than the last one. Well, I say much different, not totally different, but this is the red overalls, the red trunks, the red boots, the white, really the red and white attack here, where we got more of a denim type look on the regular edition. I might as well grab that regular edition. I got him here somewhere, right in front of my face. How about? I might as well have him here right off to the side. We'll pick him right there. Just an absolute phenomenal figure, much like this one. But let's walk through the articulation really quick on this. Just for those that don't know, the arms do go all the way around. Bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows. I'm here for that all day long. Hands, of course, removable side to side. He does got the white wrist tape painted on. Head back and forth, side to side, up and down, all the usual expectations out of a head sculpt that you usually get. We do got an ab crunch, a little bit limited by the suspenders, and we'll talk about the suspenders here in a little bit as well. You do get the nice big Rick Boogz splits. You got the waist articulation. You got thigh articulation. We got double jointed knees, and we got boot rotation, and then side to side, up and down on the feet. So all of the Mattel Elite articulation we are so accustomed to. Now the hair, much like the other one, very cool that you can just pop this ponytail off. So if you want Rick Boogz with hair, without hair, choose your own hair adventure. How's that go? I gotta feel like one of these I'm gonna have without hair, one with hair. You gotta try them. Even though they are very different figures, you gotta make them as different as humanly possible. And without hair on here, that makes it very, very different. Much like the regular edition, the Chase does have that hole in his head. I wish there was a little extra piece that came with this that you could plug in there, so you could plug the hole in the head. It just does look goofy. You don't really see the top of the head all too much, but it still does take away from the figure, at least a little bit for me. I like the knee pads here with the R and the B, the Rick and the Boogz. Makes all the sense in the world. Now we know Rick Boogz, a good heavy metal brother. He's got the Megadeth tattoo right there on his chest. Absolutely love that. I didn't realize that until we got his first figure over here. I didn't realize he was that big of a Megadeth fan. I knew he had good taste in music, but to get a Megadeth tattoo from Killing Is My Business right there on his chest, he is a good brother, number one right there. And he loves all the great classic heavy metals, the Judas Priest of the worlds, the Megadeths, all that kind of stuff. So good on Rick Boogz. Big fan of Rick Boogz and his work. Hopefully he comes back. He is currently out, as we do know. Hopefully he comes back very soon. Now, one of the big gimmicks, I guess we'd call it, with this action figure, and it's something we've seen before, Mattel is taking chances. And we're always saying constant learnings, constant improvements. We say that on the channel. If you're in business, if you're doing your job, it should every day, constant learnings. What am I going to learn today, and how do I improve? That's what you should do every day. And Mattel has put their money where their mouth is this year. They've given us the pinless joints a lot more than in past. I mean, we're getting pinless joints pretty much every single figure, at least the top half of the figures. So we're getting that. We're getting stuff like this ponytail being removable. That is constant learning, constant improvements. But then taking chances. Now, Seth Rollins, there was a regular Seth Rollins, a top pick Seth Rollins with a jacket with a little bit bend to it, which we usually don't get in the past. So that is some chances. The other one, we first saw it with the SummerSlam Ringside Collectibles exclusive Undertaker. Use discount code Kyle over there at Ringside Collectibles. But it's the straps that come down for the Undertaker. Now, we also get that with Rick Boogz here, which is very cool. So the straps, a very rubber band-like material. I think that's the best way to describe it. It almost feels like a rubber band. But you can take the straps down like a young Eric Embry or a Bill Dundee or a Jerry Lawler, or pick your poison in Memphis, really, at the end of the day. But you can take the straps down on Rick Boogz, and that is another way, another point of difference that you could do for this figure to make it as different as possible from this one. You could pull these straps on down, and then you get Rick Boogz in all of his glory here. But it does look really good. Now, the one watch out with these straps, as we've heard, some of the people that had the Undertaker one with the straps down, the straps started to deteriorate after a while. I mean, I don't know about these Rick Boogz figures. Hopefully they've improved the process. Hopefully that was just an isolated incident with the Undertaker, but that is something to be aware of. But very cool technology, very something different, and not resting on your laurels, as they say. Constant learnings, constant improvements, that's what they got going on here. Really is a cool thing to do. It is a little bit gummy. I mean, it's not sticky gummy, but it feels like a rubber band is really what it feels like. It is a very cool idea. I don't know if you could ever take this all the way off and get it back on. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, no pun intended. But it is cool. It is a different way to display your Rick Boogz if you are so inclined. And like I said, I think I'm going to leave this one without the ponytail on. I might give him the heavy metal hands, or maybe I'll give him the fist. I'm not sure, but I want to make him as different as I can from this one. Who knows when we'll get another Rick Boogz figure? It could be a while, as we do know he's been out since WrestleMania injured. I don't expect more figures anytime soon, but I think once he gets back, hopefully he gets back on that horse, and we get some more Rick Boogz figures, some basics, some elites, give us some Showdown 2-packs with Nakamura. Let's get all the Rick Boogz figures we can get. I'm all in. Of course, a good heavy metal brother I'm going to support. He's one of my favorites in current WWE. Him and Riddle probably are right up there at the top. And now even better because of the Megadeth tattoo. That puts him over even more, that he would put a little Megadeth on his body. Just very cool. And I knew he was a good heavy metal brother way back when he first came to NXT and he was doing squats with the guitar playing. He still does stuff like that. He'll even play guitar in the shower. I'm not sure if I condone that one in the shower, but I definitely like a lot of what Rick Boogz is up to. And just a dynamite figure. Very, very cool figure between these two. You really can't go wrong with either one. Of course, this is the Chase one in red, a little bit harder to find as usual. But like I said, you can't go wrong with either of these two absolutely tremendous, fabulous figures. Can't recommend these two enough. But what say you guys out there in YouTube land? Let me know your thoughts on the Rick Boogz Chase edition, as now we got to turn our attention to the entire Elite 98 wave, as we're going to rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, let's get down to business. Let's rank Elite Series 98 in order from my least favorite to my favorite. Gonna ask you guys to do the same thing and make sure you put them in order. That is the difficult part. That is the fun part at the end of the day. So let's kick it off. We got 7 figures here in Elite 98, including the Chase Rick Boogz. We're gonna obviously start off at number 7. And number 7, I got to go with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, nothing against Randy Orton. He's partners with my favorite, Matt Riddle, of course. But just so much paint by numbers, and that's a real theme here with some of the elites in the last few series. We've had a few paint by numbers, and Randy Orton really the definition of that. Not a lot of new ground, a little bit different head, facial hair, tag team title belt, things like that, but nothing that really bowls you over. Nothing new, and that's part of Randy Orton. He's toyetic, but not as toyetic as Finn Balor, for example. It just kind of really is paint by numbers Randy Orton. Nothing wrong with it. You need him out there on a pretty good cycle, I would say. We got Matt Riddle coming in Elite 99, so you need him as a partner, of course. So it's just an interesting one. It's just paint by numbers Randy Orton at the end of the day. That's what it is, and that's why he's coming in at number 7 in Elite 98's countdown. Now we go to number 6. Number 6 is going to go to, I got to go to Big E. I just got to go to Big E. It's too much too soon, it feels like, with him. It's not terribly different than Elite 95 or the Royal Rumble one. Yes, we get a little bit different in the head sculpt department. We do get some new technology or a new title belt, which I think is really cool. But there hasn't been enough of a gap between Big E to make it feel all that special. Now, if Ultimate Warrior was in 2 sets back-to-back, you're going to say, well, Kyle's going to have him in there. And of course I am. I'm a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. He's my childhood favorite, still my favorite to this day. Big E, I respect him, but I wouldn't say he's in my top 5 current guys. He's a Hawkeye, after all. You guys know I'm a Cyclone. But Big E, he's going to come in at number 6 for me. A good Big E. If you don't like your 95, you want this one. You don't like the Royal Rumble one, you want this one. Hey, pick your poison. A lot of Big E figures to choose from, just like Randy Orton in this day and age. So Big E, he's going to come in at number 6. Now it gets a little bit harder. Gets a little bit harder here. And you know what? I'm going to go Mandy Rose at number 5. Nothing against Mandy. She's one of my favorites. Maurice right up there at the top. Mandy not far behind. Mandy looking really good here. It's definitely a different Mandy Rose, and that's part of what's hard for me to get over. A little bit dead in the eyes, like I said in the review. That really takes it down a notch for me. I really like her better as a blonde, but this is a good representation of the way she looks right now. The wings is a nice touch. It is something different, something we haven't seen in the past. But at the end of the day, it's just not exactly what I needed or was looking for in a figure of Mandy Rose right now, I guess. I don't know. Gentlemen prefer blondes, or is that how it goes? Something like that. But Mandy Rose coming in at number 5. Down to the Final 4. Oh, the Final 4 could be March Madness here for all we know. Down to the Final 4 between these. And number 4, I'm going to go Farouk Assad. Yes, old Ron Simmons Farouk, an interesting one. Farouk, not my favorite incarnation of Ron Simmons. Of all the different incarnations he's had over the years, Always kind of scratched my head back then, scratching my head still to this day. It's an interesting one. That's what we'll put it at there. I like what Mattel is doing, though, giving us deep cuts that weren't the most popular in the world. But a deep cut like this one definitely works for me. I'm happy to have it in my collection. I'm glad to have it in my collection. But when you line him up against everybody else here, he's coming in at number 4. So Farouk Assad at number 4. Now we're down to the final 3. And I think I know what I'm doing. I think I just game time decision. I think I got it figured out. Number 3, you guys know I love face paint. Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor. I'm all in on face paint, all in on Finn Balor. Absolutely love this figure. In another set, he very well could have been number 1. It's the power of Boogz compels me in this one for sure. But a fabulous Finn Balor Demon figure. I don't know when we're going to get another Demon Finn Balor figure. It could be a long time before that happens. So we'll see. But I absolutely do love this. This is an immediate pickup. I think this will be high on a lot of people's lists out there. So Finn Balor, the Demon, coming in at number 3. We're down to the final 2, and it's Rick Boogz Mania running wild. Now, this makes a lot of sense for me. As you guys know, you saw the reviews. I love heavy metal. I love Rick Boogz. He's exactly what I'm looking for in my wrestlers these days, I guess, if that makes any sense. But just a cool personality and his heavy metal singing and guitar playing. I'm all in. I'm all in on him. And I like both of these, but I'm going to go Chase at number 2. This is probably how I'm going to display this one. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to figure it out. But I do like both attires, but this Chase one I don't like as much as this one. This one is pretty cool with the denim, the writing on the denim, the overalls. Obviously, the guitar on both these guys is absolutely fabulous. Just an all-around fabulous figure. You can't go wrong with either of these two, but if I had to pick between the two of them here, I'm going this one, and that's just the way it's going to be for me. But a strong, strong set, Elite 98. A fabulous end here. First time in the line, deep cut legend Farouk Assad. I'm here for that. Face paint, need I say any more? Mandy Rose, not bad. The female representation. Got new wings, got something going for her. Big E, a perennial favorite. Randy Orton, a perennial favorite. Just a solid, solid line. And this is really how Mattel has really hit their stride over the last 10 series or so of a nice mix in each line. You get a heavy hitter that you're expecting. You get some deep cuts. You get something off the wall. Just really good work by Mattel. And like we say, constant learning, constant improvement. They've had about 100 sets to get the mixes right. And I feel that's what they got going on right here. So Rick Boogz taking it at number 1 and number 2. I don't know if we've ever had one of these countdowns where the Chase was number 1 and number 2. This could be a first here for the channel. I'm pretty sure it is. Somebody can check that if they want to. But very good Rick Boogz figure. Strongly recommended. Pick him up, of course, right now at Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. So there it is. There's Elite 98. What is your thoughts? What is your ranking? Put them in order. Put them in the comments down below. I think everybody needs at least one Rick Boogz in their collection. Come on. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. You can also get videos like this much earlier on Patreon. And best of all, you do support the channel when you go on over to the Patreon channel. And you can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget to hit me up on social media. SirPaul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Rick Boogz and all the other guys in Elite 98 and gals too, I'm Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.